Hey friends, welcome to Farah Insights, where curiosity meets knowledge, and ideas inspire action, and together we'll explore ideas that help us learn, grow, and see the world differently. Let's explore together. Let's get started. Close your eyes for a moment. Think about your childhood. Your first birthday. A family vacation. Your graduation. A wedding. Now ask yourself, how many of those memories still exist because someone captured them? Photography has preserved our happiest moments for generations. But here's something extraordinary. The company that made photography accessible to millions of people no longer leads the industry it created. Even more surprising, the company that invented the digital camera was destroyed by digital photography. How is that possible? How can a company create the future and still fail to survive it? Today, we're uncovering one of the greatest business lessons in history. A story about success, innovation, leadership, fear, and one management mistake that every entrepreneur, manager, researcher, and professional should understand. Because this isn't just Kodak's story. It's a warning for anyone who believes success today guarantees success tomorrow. The company that owned photography. To understand Kodak, we need to travel back in time. The year is 1888. Photography is expensive, complicated, and available only to professionals. Then George Eastman changes everything. His vision was beautifully simple. You press the button. We do the rest. For the first time, ordinary people could capture memories. Kodak didn't simply sell cameras. It democratized photography. Families documented birthdays. Travelers recorded adventures. Children grew up surrounded by Kodak memories. Generation after generation trusted the same yellow box. By the 1970s, Kodak wasn't merely successful. It was one of the most admired companies on earth. It controlled almost 90% of film sales in the United States. Nearly every photograph taken generated revenue for Kodak. Think about this business model. Someone bought a Kodak camera. Then Kodak sold the film. Then customers paid to develop the film. Then they bought more film. The customer returned again. And again. And again. Management scholars call this a recurring revenue model. Kodak wasn't earning money once. It earned money every time people wanted another memory. It was brilliant, profitable, and seemingly impossible to disrupt. Or so everyone believed. Research insight. This is an important concept in strategic management. Companies that dominate an industry often develop what researchers call organizational inertia. Organizational inertia is the tendency of successful organizations to continue doing what made them successful in the past, even when the environment around them is changing. In simple words, success creates habits. Habits create routines. And routines can quietly become resistance to change. The day Kodak invented its own competitor. Now comes the twist. The biggest twist in business history. In 1975, a young Kodak engineer named Steven Sasson built something remarkable. It weighed almost 4 kilograms. Recorded black and white images. Stored photos on a cassette tape. And took over 20 seconds to capture a single picture. It doesn't sound impressive today. But it was revolutionary. It was the world's first digital camera. Think about that. Kodak invented digital photography. Not Sony. Not Canon. Not Apple. Kodak. When Sasson demonstrated his invention to executives, the reaction wasn't excitement. It was concern. The executives reportedly asked questions like, "That's interesting. But don't tell anyone about it." Why? Because digital photography threatened Kodak's entire business model. No film. No developing. No repeat purchases. No recurring revenue. Kodak wasn't afraid the invention wouldn't work. Kodak was afraid it would. Business breakdown. The innovator's dilemma. Let's pause the story. Imagine you own a successful bookstore. Business is excellent. Customers visit every day. Then someone suggests selling books online. Would you do it? Maybe. Maybe not. Why? Because online sales might reduce in-store purchases. You fear hurting today's profits. Now imagine your competitor launches online shopping first. Customers slowly shift. 5 years later. Your physical store isn't failing because it's bad. It's failing because customer behavior changed. This is exactly what happened to Kodak. Kodak didn't ignore innovation. Kodak ignored the consequences of innovation. Management scholar Clayton Christensen described this phenomenon as the innovator's dilemma. Successful companies often reject disruptive innovations because those innovations initially appear less profitable than their existing business. Ironically, protecting today's profits can destroy tomorrow's company. Meanwhile, the world changed. While Kodak hesitated, other companies moved forward. Canon, Sony, Nikon. Then smartphones arrived. Apple, Samsung, Google. Suddenly, the camera wasn't a separate device anymore. It lived inside your pocket. Photography became instant. Sharing became effortless. Printing photographs became optional. Kodak had spent decades perfecting film. The world had moved beyond film entirely. Markets don't wait. Technology doesn't pause. Customers don't remain the same forever. Businesses must evolve. Or someone else will evolve for them. For lessons every leader should remember. Kodak's story teaches lessons that extend far beyond business. Lesson 1. Success is temporary. Never confuse market leadership with permanent security. Every industry changes. The question isn't whether change will come. The question is whether you'll be ready. Lesson 2. Never fall in love with your product. Fall in love with solving customer problems. Kodak believed it sold film. Customers wanted memories. Those are two very different businesses. Lesson 3. Be willing to disrupt yourself. If you don't challenge your own business, someone else eventually will. The companies that survive aren't always the biggest. They're the ones most willing to adapt. Lesson 4. Learning is a competitive advantage. Markets evolve. Technology evolves. Consumer expectations evolve. The organizations and people that continue learning remain relevant. Those who stop learning eventually fall behind. Think about this. Before we end, I'd like you to reflect on 2 questions. If you're a student, are you preparing for today's job market? Or tomorrow's? If you're an entrepreneur, are you protecting your current business? Or building your future business? And if you're simply trying to grow personally, ask yourself, what belief, habit, or routine am I holding on to simply because it once worked? Sometimes, the greatest obstacle to future success is past success. Today's story wasn't just about Kodak. It was about human nature. We all prefer certainty over change. Comfort over uncertainty. The familiar over the unknown. But history reminds us of one important truth. The world doesn't stop changing. And neither should we. If today's video gave you a new perspective or sparked your curiosity, don't let the learning stop here. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to Farah Insights, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an insight. Stay curious, keep learning, and remember, one insight can change everything. See you in the next video.